Good evening and welcome to Metro Focus. I'm Rafael Piroman. New Yorkers are set to show up in force this weekend for the annual Cannabis Parade, with protesters calling for an end to marijuana prohibition and demanding an end to racially motivated arrests. The path to legalization looks difficult, with New York's top public officials historically showing opposition to the idea. For example, despite having established a medical marijuana program in the state and a study to explore the impact of recreational legalization, Governor Cuomo has remained reluctant to endorse legalization. And while the governor and the mayor rarely see eye to eye on this, they appear to be on the same page, with Mayor de Blasio also opposing legalization. But for another prominent New York elected official, enough is enough, and the time for legalization is now. That elected official is Public Advocate Letitia James, who joins us now. Public Advocate James, welcome back to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Public Advocate James, the issue of marijuana legalization is not a new one. In fact, 9 states plus Washington, D.C. have already legalized it. So why did you come to believe that it was important to focus on this issue now?
It's also important to note that New Jersey, under the leadership of the new governor, Governor Murphy, is considering legalizing marijuana. Listen, we have to face some facts. One, the war on drugs has been a complete failure. In fact, the war on drugs has been nothing more than a war on poor people and people of color. 80% of the individuals who are arrested and are convicted of small possession of marijuana are people of color, Black and Latino, and most of them are low-income individuals in the city of New York.
Well, at the same time, the use is the same across. So
the use amongst the races and the ethnic groups are basically the same. Yeah, it's on average the same, but enforcement, unfortunately, is primarily disproportionately affecting people of color and poor people in our city and in our state. And so I say, let's regulate it and let's legalize it, and let's use those resources as a result of the legalization to invest in communities that unfortunately have been devastated by this.
Specifically invest in what?
So invest in for housing, invest in schools, invest in parks and open space, invest in employment, invest in education and higher education, invest in job training, invest in areas and in resources that unfortunately have not been funded in a very long time, and particularly at this time when the federal government is not cooperating with municipalities and our states.
Yeah, but I mean, there are some legitimate concerns about legalizing marijuana. For example, there's a concern that allowing for-profit businesses to sell marijuana could lead to aggressive marketing to people who are addicted to the product, just as happens with alcohol and tobacco, who make most of the profits by selling to people who are seriously addicted to those products. Well, how do you respond to that?
So the prohibition on alcohol and the prohibition on cigarettes obviously has failed, and we've legalized that. We're talking about regulation, and we're not talking about a dispensary on every corner, and we're only talking about recreational use for adults and adults only. It's important that individuals understand that it will be regulated, that it will be tracked.
But what about the health concerns? I mean, one New Zealand study tracked users for many years and showed that there was an average drop of 8 points of IQ for people who chronically used it, and those points never come back even after they stop. And a Northwestern study says that it's associated with a loss of short and long-term memory.
So there are some concerns, but I think it's important to understand that most of those studies have been based on abuse, where individuals use high amounts of marijuana. And what we're talking about is regulated amounts of marijuana, limited use.
You're prepared to work with the governor on this?
Yes. I've spoken to the governor of the state of New York, Governor Cuomo, and we've agreed to look at this together as he analyzes and issues a report and studies the issue and analyzes again how it's been handled in 9 states and its impact both positively and negatively. And I look forward again to the report and his recommendations going forward.
Now, you've said that you can't understand how a progressive could be against legalization of marijuana, basically directed at the mayor. Is that fair? The mayor is a progressive guy, and there are legitimate concerns, as you yourself have said.
So there are legitimate concerns, but let's be honest. The mayor of the city of New York has already indicated that, in fact, in the past, he smoked marijuana. And so I think since we already have medical marijuana here in the city of New York and it's going well, it's for those individuals who are struggling and suffering, and there have not been any adverse effects and or impacts. I think this is an issue that we can explore in the state of New York, just as New Jersey is exploring, and the other 9 states plus the District of Columbia. Again, because the war on drugs, unfortunately, has had an adverse impact on communities of color and low-income communities. It's destroyed them. It's been a complete failure.
So how do you respond to those who say that you taking on this issue is the first salvo to your mayoral run in 2021?
So again, we're not focusing on our future. What we're doing is focusing on our role as a public advocate of the city of New York, taking on difficult issues and taking difficult stand. And I know this is a very difficult issue, but I think it's important that individuals understand that the war on drugs has failed, and that the prohibition against alcohol, there was a similar concern with respect to alcohol, and we regulated it. And again, we should do the same with marijuana, because too many lives, unfortunately, have been devastated as a result of this war on poor people.
That's true. But you are running in 2021, correct?
I'm considering my options in the future,
Okay.
but at this point in time, I'm just focusing on being
and you
the
will
best
announce
public
it here
advocate of the
on
city
Metro
of New
Focus.
York.
Well, thank you very much. It's a very serious issue
It
and a
is.
very important issue. Thank you so much for taking it on, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.